What happened in those critical minutes inside Uvalde's Robb Elementary School on May 24, 2022, when a gunman killed 19 children and 2 teachers, is finally heading to court. On trial is former Uvalde Schools police officer Adrian Gonzalez, one of 2 officers charged with endangering the very children they swore to protect. After a change in venue, the trial begins in Corpus Christi tomorrow. Tonight, senior investigative reporter Tanya Eiserer breaks down what Gonzalez did and didn't do that day.
Adrian Gonzalez faces 29 counts of abandoning or endangering a child, 19 for the children who were killed and 10 for those who were wounded. He is the first police officer in the state of Texas to be tried under the statute for allegedly failing to take action. And the outcome of this case could have ramifications for law enforcement far beyond that courtroom. The body cam begins with officers running and a warning.
Guys, be careful! He might be in that building!
Several minutes later, a gunman armed with a long rifle had stepped into Uvalde's Robb Elementary.
Shots fired inside the building, Uvalde!
Uvalde Schools police officer Adrian Gonzalez and other officers enter through the south side of the school. 77 minutes would pass from the time officers arrived on scene until tactical units finally moved in and killed the gunman. What Gonzalez did, or failed to do during those 77 minutes, is now at the heart of a 29-count indictment. Prosecutors allege that after hearing gunshots and being advised of the general location of the shooter, he failed to engage, distract, or delay the shooter, and that he failed to attempt to follow his active shooter training by advancing toward the gunman.
Watching the video and knowing everything that I know about the incident, clearly Uvalde failed at the most basic level of an active shooter response, which is to go and eliminate the threat immediately.
Jurors will.
So it sounds to me like, just calling it how it is, sounds like he was either scared to act because he was fearing for his life. Well, that's the only other, or he just didn't want to. Those are the only 2 options to me. Well, let's keep going.
Now have to decide whether those failures weren't just missteps, but criminal acts.
This is one that could go either way.
Mike Howard is a Dallas criminal defense attorney and former public defender.
If I'm the prosecutor, I'm going to say, well, his inaction placed them, in danger.
But do you criminalize that?
That's right. I'm the defense. Where I'm going to argue is falling short of the mark is not a crime. Even being a coward is not a crime.
It's June 15th, 2022.
That is, I'm not going to stop it too much, but that is the ultimate question. Is being a coward a crime?
ABC News obtained an audio recording of a call an investigator made to Gonzalez 22 days after the massacre.
Dialing the number at this time.
A call that offers a window into his actions and state of mind.
This is Gonzalez.
When you responded to the school, what did you understand you were responding to as far as the shooting?
When I first responded, it was in reference to the Uvalde Police Department traffic of an accident. Then the call came out that the suspect was running with the gun towards the school, so that's why I initiated heading over there.
Okay.
Because now he was on school property.
Were you ever told that it was an active shooter?
No.
Okay. Were you ever told that it was a barricaded subject?
No, sir.
The defense is really going to put forward, put yourself in Officer Gonzalez's shoes. When he arrives, what does he know? What does he not know?
Good question.
According to Gonzalez, after entering the building and hearing gunshots, he attempted to call for a tactical team, but his radio had no reception inside the building.
So I stepped out and never went back into that hallway.
Did you know that there was children still alive inside the rooms?
No, sir.
Here's Gonzalez positioned at the corner of the building, talking to the Uvalde police sergeant wearing the body camera, telling him what he saw when he first got there.
I saw a teacher on the ground and I thought she had tackled somebody. So when I came up, she was by her side. I saw her running in a cloud of dust. I thought she tackled somebody.
Child 911.
Here he is just minutes before police stormed the classroom and killed the gunman.
You want to start getting kids out? I can start jumping. Cover them. Go, run over there.
A critical incident review found that from about 11:38 a.m. until 12:47 p.m., Close to the time law enforcement made entry, the gunman was wrongly described as barricaded or contained at least 26 times.
This was clearly not a barricaded person.
James Hawthorne served as the chief of a North Texas school district for 9 years until recently retiring.
You have the duty to respond, to act, and try to eliminate the threat because, again, lives are at risk.
The trial is likely to expose far more about what he did and didn't do that day, and whether those choices rise to the level of a crime.
As a prosecutor, I think you just really want to keep the focus on the children, the focus on the victims, and how, there was one man who could have prevented it.
I'm Tanya Iser.
There's a lot of questions, a lot of things to think about. Now, like they said, so it basically sounds like, at least to me, tell me if I'm saying something wrong, but he got onto a certain hallway, he heard gunshots, and did not advance. He did not advance to see what was happening. Doesn't sound like he was being shot at, but he heard gunshots. He didn't advance. He called for tried to call for a tactical team. He couldn't get any response with the radio, so he did not advance any further. And because of that, they're trying to put him on trial, saying that he just failed to do his job. Him advancing could have saved some kids' lives. Let's get over to his next video and see if it tells us any more details about it.
Lawyers are selecting jurors in the criminal trial for a former officer charged in the slow law enforcement response to the Uvalde school mass shooting. Good evening. I'm Clarice Tinsley. Prosecutors say Adrian Gonzalez ignored his training and failed to act when a teenage gunman opened fire, killing 19 students and 2 teachers. Gonzalez pleaded not guilty to child abandonment and endangerment charges. Fox 4's Alex Boyer is in our newsroom with details. Alex.
Hi, Clarice, and I can tell you that I went down to Uvalde to cover that shooting back when it happened for Fox 4 News, and I can tell you that at one point it certainly felt like news crews really outnumbered the residents there, so it's really no surprise that the defense argued for that change of venue, now moving the case out of Uvalde to Corpus Christi. As of now, I can tell you about 100 people have been dismissed after saying they could not be impartial. Some 400 potential jurors showed up to the
They said 100 people had to be dismissed.
Wessex County Courthouse in Corpus Christi Monday for jury selection in the case against former Uvalde school police officer Adrian Gonzalez.
This will be a very challenging jury to seat.
Allison Richardson is a jury consultant not involved in this case. The defense was able to get the trial moved some 200 miles away, arguing that Gonzalez would not get a fair trial in Uvalde, a town of just 15,000 people.
It's pretty unusual. But in this case, it's my understanding that the district attorney in Uvalde did not oppose it.
Gonzalez was one of the first police officers to arrive at Robb Elementary School. He testified to lawmakers that he could smell the gunpowder in the building during the mass shooting. 19 students and 2 teachers were killed. Officers waited more than an hour before confronting the gunman. Now Gonzalez faces 29 counts of child abandonment or endangerment. Toby Shook is a defense attorney who has extensive experience handling high-profile cases.
The theory of the prosecution is that Officer Gonzalez had recently been trained in active shooting within a month or so of this event, and that part of the indictment is he ignored his training, that he didn't engage the shooter despite hearing shots fired and knowing where he was barricaded.
We got a copy of the 2-page jury questionnaire. Potential jurors were essentially asked what they knew about law enforcement's response and their impressions of what happened, as well as whether they contributed money to Uvalde victims.
The defense wants to really emphasize that the jurors, first of all, haven't formed any opinions, so they're going to explore that a lot about what they've read and what opinions they may have formed.
Richardson adding,
I would just say the questionnaire had some great questions on it. And if they'll be using that information quite a bit. But the number one thing they'll be doing today is they'll be trying to expose a bias that they cannot overcome in trial so that the judge can excuse them.
So of the nearly 500 members of local, state, and federal law enforcement, Gonzalez is just one of 2 that are facing charges. The trial is expected to last 2 to 3 weeks once that jury is seated. Clarice.
All right, Alex, you'll keep us posted. Thank you.
Crazy situation, crazy situation. But overall, what do y'all think, y'all? What do y'all think? Is being a coward a crime, or is it the main thing I'm thinking is, especially since he just went over active shooter protocols, it's going to lean a lot on that. If he clearly did not follow what was written in the protocols for a police officer to do during an active shooter, then it should be cut. It should be cut and paste. There's nothing else to talk about. But at the end of the day, we do gotta realize that it's ultimately not the officer's fault. At the end of the day, the killer is the one that needs to be blamed. He ended up killing 21 people, 19 children, and 2 adults. Yes, someone needs to be held responsible. Yes, there needs to be some punishment if the officers did not act the way they needed to. But at the end of the day, there is a true killer. There is a true killer to all these victims. Absolute crazy, y'all. But let me know your thoughts on that, and let me know if you disagree with anything I said.